All right, in this video, I'm going to show you how to print meetings with cold email so that you never have to worry about booking in sales meetings for your sales reps or for yourself and growing your business and scaling your business so you can close more clients. Now, this is specifically for marketing agencies and software companies who are looking to use cold outbound to basically find and generate more clients, more consistent pipeline, everything like that. So I'm going to show you step by step. This is how and what is working super well right now. I will cover these points in more detail. But number one, which I've talked about many times before in many videos, is make sure your domains and inboxes are set up properly. So buy 10 domains, 2 inboxes per domain, then send 25 to 30 emails per inbox so that you can send around 500 to 600 plus emails per day. Make sure that the technical setup, the DKIM, the DMARC, and SPF is set up fully. Make sure that domain forwarding is set up, custom domain tracking, everything like that needs to be set up properly. I've got other videos that show you how to do that step by step. Make sure that you set half of them up on Outlook, half of them up on Google. That way that you have domain provider matching. So if you're sending from Outlook, it goes to Outlook. If you're sending from Google, it goes to Google. That way you just have better deliverability. So make sure that backend is set up. That's the infrastructure. That's how you're going to send a bunch of cold emails. And then everything else is built on top of that. So make sure that's there so that you have the best deliverability and actually getting in the inbox. And that's number one. So that's, 100% need to do that. Number two is build a segmented list, a super segmented list. So use a good data provider to build a list of accounts, then enrich with either Apollo or Clay. There are a million and one ways to build your lead list data. You can use multiple different providers. You can enrich. You can get it all from one place. There are so many different ways that you can do it. None is better than the other. It's what works for you, for your specific niche, your specific who you're targeting. But I would highly recommend to focus more on segmentation rather than having a huge list, because it just means that every time you set up a campaign, have specific segmented list for that campaign and just set up multiple campaigns rather than setting up one campaign and having a huge list in there and then trying to personalize depending on each one. It's going to be so much easier to just segment at the list level. So an example of segmentation could be you're targeting SaaS companies and you do, like, let's just say web design, web development, and you're targeting SaaS companies that have an old website. So you're like, well, how do you find that they have an old website without going through it manually? Well, you can basically do this by, number one, looking at their tech stack and filtering based on their tech stack. So for example, you could offer, like, let's just say you offer Webflow website services. You could then segment your list by SaaS companies that have been founded before a specific year. So you can do this, for example, in Apollo, but there's loads of other different databases that you can use this, do this for. Before 2015, so they're at least like, what is it, nine years old now. So they're probably in that point where they're most likely going to be looking for a new website. If they've already done a new website, they will just tell you over email that, hey, we just renewed our website. It's like no biggie, right? But yeah, so they're less likely to have updated it, and they have their site built on WordPress. So you can filter by tech stack. So you're saying, hey, I noticed that you have a WordPress site. And number two, you can say, well, actually, that's the main part. That's the tech stack that you're filtering by. And then you can filter before by companies that have been founded before 2015. That just means that they have a higher likelihood of basically having an older website. So it means when you go in, pitching or offering some kind of design or anything like that, they're more likely to have an older website, right? It's not always, but it just means that you can basically, what happens is you can pull as many leads as you can from multiple providers and the databases that match that criteria. And then when you reach out, it can be a generic message, but because the list is super segmented, it will look personalized. So because you said, hey, I noticed that you have a WordPress website and you guys were founded quite a few years ago, you guys were founded before 2015, it already looks like it's personalized, right? Because you've segmented at the list level. So you don't have to bother with doing like AI stuff or anything like that. That can also be great for larger lists, but if you're segmenting, it can be way easier to actually make your message more personalized. So anyways, build a list, build a segmented list, and then you can actually personalize without personalizing. You can write a generic message that is still personalized, and you don't have to spend ages and hours trying to personalize everything. Number three, write compelling copy. So keep your copy short and to the point. Offer a lead magnet. Offer a lead magnet or a sales asset or whatever you want to call it. It's the same thing. It's just interchanged. So a couple of examples of lead magnets slash sales assets are, let's say you're a design agency, you could offer mockups. Let's say you're web development, you can offer mockups. Again, if you're doing SEO and content, you could offer like sample content or a report. If you do content creation, again, sample content. If you do social media, you could offer them like a social media strategy, like a document of it, right? You're not saying like, let's do a call and strategy stuff because everyone does that. You offer a document on it and you offer, or you can offer ideas. Or you can offer Loom videos that explain your process and the results that you've gotten for other clients, right? You can offer any of these things. These are all sales assets that you can create one time, or you can create templates for that then you can basically offer to send to people in your initial email. And some people will bite. Some people will be like, yeah, sure, send that across. And then when they've done that, you open up the conversation to then book in a meeting because you're providing value to them upfront, which then means that they're more likely to hear you out and have a little bit of trust for you. So they're more likely to jump on a call, right? The other important points of writing good, compelling copy is keep the ratio. I don't know why it says ration, but of 2-to-1 for you versus I. Keep the email less than 75 word. It should really be maximum 4 lines, but it should be like 3. 1 line here that says, saw that you did X, Y, Z, whatever reason it is. We did this for another client. Can I send you this? Right. And the thing that you send them has to relate back to the first line. So an example that's been doing so well for us for web design is saw that you had an older WordPress website, but we made you a couple of mock-ups to show you some designs. Can I send them across? Like it's really as simple as that. It's like literally 3 lines, like 2.5 lines. And that's all it is, but it does so well and it prints meetings. Like literally that's all you need to do. And then have an interest-based CTA. So can I send some more info? Is this something you're interested in, etc., etc., right? So that's the copy part. Do not overcomplicate this stuff. Just build a segmented list, write the damn copy, keep it really simple, and offer to send them something that's useful and valuable. Number 4, launch the campaign and respond to the leads quickly as possible, right? So within 15, 30 minutes, right? Send the leads into a subsequence after the initial response until they book a meeting. Now, what I mean by this is, let's say in your first email that you've sent them, you said, hey, I made this thing for you. Would you like me to send it across? They respond, say, yes, please send it across. You then send the thing across, right? And then you offer in that email to book in a time. You say, hey, let's connect, whatever it is. Then if they don't respond to that email, you push them into a subsequence, right? Or once you've sent that email, you automatically push them into a subsequence, which basically just means that you have another 1, 2, 3 email follow-up. So you do not miss the people that you've responded to. So what I mean by that is if you've responded to them and then they don't respond to you, they will then get another email in 2 days or 3 days, depending on whatever your subsequent settings are, that says like, hey, did you have a chance to check out this thing that I sent you? And then number 2 would be, hey, again, after another 2-3 days, did you have a chance to do this? And then adding some more value in that email. So I also created this thing, or I also made this thing, right? Again, super simple, but it's really important because otherwise you're going to have to do this manually. And if you do it manually, you're going to let things slip and you're going to let things slip through the cracks. So once you've followed up with your initial email that is manual because you've got to respond to these people, then they get pushed into a subsequence that then will follow up automatically 2 or 3 times to make sure that they have the highest likelihood of booking in a call, right? And we stop after 3 times. We may have like an email that goes out afterwards after 7 days or 14 days or something as like a final follow-up, but really you don't want to push them too much. I just find that is like, I don't know, it just comes across as spammy, but hey, that's just me. Maybe I'm just projecting onto the market. I don't know, but try and see what works for you, but that just works for us. Yeah. And then in the response email, just say, send the lead magnet that you've offered them. Actually, fulfilling the lead magnet is another thing that I'll cover in another video, but it should be really simple. It should be like no more than literally like 30 seconds of your time, or just have a link already made. So make one video, one Loom video, one document, etc., and just send that out. Then send the lead magnet and then ask for a time to connect on the call. Keep it really simple. Keep the response time down. And just do that. And number 5 is do volume. Do more volume than you think is necessary. Once you have a winning email, then scale. Buy more domains, more inboxes. Keep trying new lead sources and databases. Double down on what works. So if it's working and you see that it's working, and what I mean by working is you are sending X amount of emails every single day, and you are getting not just positive responses, but you're actually getting people booking in meetings, and you can see that this thing is working, then just double down on the thing. That's all you need to do. All right. So just keep analyzing it. Make sure you've got enough data in there as well. So don't make any decisions or anything until you've sent at least like 1,000 emails total. And then you can start to look at making decisions from there. But I hope that helps. That's literally what we've been doing. Just follow those steps. Sounds easier said than done, and it is very simple, just like all good things. Just follow foundational principles and just do the basics right. And you don't need all this extra stuff. Sure, AI can help, all this other stuff can help, but keep it really simple. Good leads, a good offer in front of them, help them out. That's it, and send it to a bunch of people. That's all you need to do. So that's the approach that I take. That's how we do it, and that's what works. If you want to print meetings and you want to get them consistently, then just follow this. If you need help implementing it, book a call below. If you are a marketing agency that has some clients and is doing revenue over 10,000 a month, and you have case studies, then you can book a call. If you're not there yet, just keep watching the videos until you get there. So yeah, hopefully this video is useful, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.